I'm going to ask you the question that I ask a lot of people, only because it's, a lot of people look to other artists as their, who is their
Hmm.
inspiration. And I'm going to ask you, who is your biggest inspiration or hero that you felt inspired you?
Well, as a banjo player, Earl Scruggs was definitely the guy that set the standard. And I remember watching the Flat and Scruggs show when I was real young. My mom said I would watch commercials and the Flat and Scruggs show. That was the two things I'd watch on TV. And and then there was another gentleman from this part of the country, an old time banjo player named Fred Cockram, who came from a little place called Round Peak, who kind of set the standard for old time players back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And he had a lot of influence on me too. And like I say, old time music influenced what I play as much as bluegrass.
Okay. And I know that you play with a band.
Hmm.
And did you want to mention who your band
Sure,
is?
I've been with the Lonesome River Band for the past 19 years, and been on the road, and we've done a bunch of CDs over the years. I think we're at about 10 CDs that I've done with the band, and then I did a solo album back in the mid 90s as well called Leading Role, and um, Lonesome River Band has been able to travel, pretty much the whole United States, Japan, Europe. We've got to take our music to a lot of different people, and like I say, I feel real fortunate to get to do what I love.
And I know you've got a website that you sell your CDs on.
Yeah, LonesomeRiverBand.com.
Okay. And the other question, I've got one last question, I promise. And that would be, if you could speak to kids that are wanting to come up
Hmm.
in this industry, what words of advice would you give them?
Um, the biggest word of advice is taste. Um, a lot of people don't understand the meaning of the word taste in music, and that's playing what fits. Um, Learning to play behind vocalists and learning to play with a vocalist. They're two different things, and study the masters. Learn from the guys that did it and proved that it could be done, and that set the standard for all of us. Study that music, and just be very diligent at what you do, and don't expect to get rich.
Thank you so much, Sammy. I appreciate the interview.
You're very welcome.